Something important is happening for SB19 in Japan, and today's Yokohama event could become another major chapter in their international story. On August 18, 2026, SB19 is set to meet Japanese fans at their Thanksgiving fan meet at KT's Ppop Yokohama. After everything the group has experienced during their current Japan activities, this event carries a meaning far beyond a simple fan gathering. SB19 have already spent this Japan trip making their presence known. They appeared on Japanese television, performed at one of the country's biggest music festivals, connected with Japanese entertainment personalities, and introduced Ppop to audiences who may have never experienced it before. Now, instead of standing on a huge festival stage, SB19 are moving closer to the people who support them. And that makes Yokohama especially interesting. The timing of this fan meet could hardly be more significant. SB19 are arriving after a busy stretch of international activity that has placed their name in front of Japanese audiences multiple times. First came their appearance on Day, where Japanese television viewers had the opportunity to see the members, learn about the group, experience their personalities, and watch them perform. Then came Summer Sonic 2026. SB19 performed in Osaka before returning for their Tokyo appearance, giving them two major opportunities to connect with Japanese festival audiences. That distinction matters. A television appearance can introduce an artist. A festival performance can create curiosity. But a fan meet shows something different. It shows that people are willing to come specifically for the artist. And that is why today's Yokohama event deserves attention. SB19 are no longer simply trying to get Japanese audiences to notice them. They are now creating opportunities to build a relationship with people who have already taken an interest in the group. That is a major difference. Think about how international fandoms develop. Someone might first see an artist on television. Another person might discover them through a festival performance. Someone else might encounter a short clip on social media. Then curiosity develops. They search the artist. They listen to a song. They watch another performance. Eventually, that curiosity can turn into genuine support. SB19's Japan activities have created several of those entry points. And now the Yokohama fan meet gives Japanese supporters an opportunity to experience the group in a completely different environment. Instead of watching SB19 from a massive festival crowd, fans can interact with them more directly. That personal connection has always been an important part of SB19's relationship with Aten. Their international growth is not based only on music releases or performances. Their supporters have played a major role in helping the group build recognition across different countries. Now Japanese Aten have their own opportunity to share that experience with SB19. And the location itself is worth discussing. Yokohama is one of Japan's major cities and forms an important part of the Greater Tokyo metropolitan area. Holding a dedicated SB19 event there places the group inside a major Japanese entertainment market rather than treating Japan as a quick stop on an international schedule. That is significant. Because there is a difference between visiting a country and building a presence there. A visit might consist of one performance. A developing market presence involves multiple connections. Television. Festivals. Fan events. Music releases. Social media. Media coverage. Artist interactions. And eventually, hopefully, larger opportunities. SB19 have now been touching several of those areas in Japan. That makes their current activities feel much more intentional. The group is creating multiple ways for Japanese audiences to encounter them. Someone may have discovered them through Day. Someone else may have watched them at Summer Sonic. Another person could have found their music through online platforms. And now, some of those interested listeners are getting the chance to attend a dedicated SB19 event. That progression is extremely valuable. International expansion rarely happens because of one single performance. It usually develops through repeated exposure. The first appearance introduces the artist. The next one creates recognition. Another event strengthens familiarity. Then fans begin actively searching for more. Eventually, the artist becomes part of the local conversation. That is the stage SB19 appear to be working toward in Japan. But there is another reason this event matters. The group has been creating connections with Japanese artists and entertainment figures during this trip. Those interactions can help create bridges between different music communities. When Filipino and Japanese artists interact publicly, audiences from both sides become curious. Fans share clips. People discuss the interaction. Names become familiar. And suddenly, an artist who was previously unknown to someone becomes part of their entertainment feed. That kind of organic discovery can be extremely powerful. And SB19's recent Japanese activities have provided plenty of opportunities for exactly that. But today's fan meet is different. This time, the focus is not simply on reaching a massive audience. It is about strengthening the connection with people who have already chosen to support them. For Japanese Otten, this is an opportunity they have been waiting for. They can see the members in person. They can experience the atmosphere of an SB19 event. They can interact with the group. And they can celebrate the connection they have built with the Filipino artists. For SB19, meanwhile, the event provides something equally important. It allows them to see the people behind the growing Japanese audience. Festival crowds can be enormous. Television audiences can be difficult to measure personally. But at a fan meet, the connection becomes much more direct. You can see the supporters. You can hear them. You can interact with them. And you can understand how strong the connection really is. That makes Yokohama more than another date on the calendar. It becomes another checkpoint in SB19's Japanese journey. And perhaps the most interesting question is what happens after today. Because the fan meet itself is only one part of the story. If Japanese fans continue supporting SB19 after the event, that could create opportunities for even more activities. Could there be additional Japanese media appearances? Could more collaborations happen? Could SB19 return for another major festival? Could they eventually hold larger concerts in Japan? Could Japanese audiences become a much bigger part of their international fan base? Nobody can know the answers yet. But those possibilities become more realistic when an artist continues building momentum. And SB19 have certainly created momentum during this Japan trip. Their presence has expanded from television to festivals and now to direct fan interaction. That is a very different picture from simply saying, SB19 performed in Japan. They are building several layers of engagement. And that is exactly what an artist needs when entering a competitive international market. Japan has an enormous music industry with established artists, dedicated fan communities, and its own unique entertainment culture. Breaking through requires patience. It requires consistency. And most importantly, it requires artists to keep giving audiences reasons to remember them. SB19 are now doing that. They are showing up. They are performing. They are interacting. They are connecting. And they are continuing to bring their Filipino identity into every new environment. That last point may be the most important of all. SB19 are not entering Japan by abandoning what makes them Filipino. They are bringing Ppop with them. They are showing Japanese audiences a different side of Asian pop music. And every new listener who becomes curious about SB19 also has an opportunity to discover more Filipino music. That means the impact could extend beyond the group itself. If SB19 strengthens its Japanese audience, other Filipino artists may also benefit from the increased visibility of Ppop. One group can open a door. Other artists can potentially walk through it later. That is why international milestones involving SB19 matter to so many Filipino music fans. The bigger picture is not simply about one group succeeding overseas. It is about expanding the idea of where Filipino music can belong. And Japan could become an important part of that expansion. So, as SB19 arrive in Yokohama for their Thanksgiving fan meet, the moment deserves attention. This is the group returning to Japan after a series of major appearances. They have already introduced themselves through Japanese television. They have performed on major festival stages. They have created memorable interactions with Japanese personalities. And now they are meeting their supporters face to face. That sequence tells a story. It shows progression. It shows growing visibility. And most importantly, it shows that SB19's relationship with Japan is becoming more developed. The real test, however, begins after the excitement settles. Will the Japanese audience continue following them? Will more people discover their music? Will additional opportunities appear? Will this lead to bigger events in the future? Those questions remain unanswered. But that uncertainty is also what makes this moment exciting. Because SB19 are no longer asking whether they can enter Japan. They are already there. They are now trying to determine how far they can take the opportunity. And today's Yokohama fan meet could become another important step in that process. For Japanese Aten, this is a day to celebrate. For SB19, it is another chance to strengthen a growing international connection. And for Filipino music fans watching from around the world, it is another reminder that the group's global journey continues to expand. SB19 are not simply passing through Japan anymore. They are building connections. They are creating memories. They are reaching new audiences. And they are giving Ppop another platform in one of Asia's most influential music markets. So the biggest question is no longer whether Japan has noticed SB19. The question now is what Japan's next chapter with SB19 will look like. Because if everything we have seen during this trip is only the beginning, the Yokohama fan meet may eventually be remembered as another early step towards something much bigger.